Hey everyone, welcome back to another PNSO review. Today we're going to take a look at their newest release, Qingge, the Therizinosaurus. I apologize for my spotty review schedule the last few weeks. Ever since I got COVID, my voice has been absolute dog crap like every other day. So it's been really hard for me to record reviews. Today, my voice is fine, so that's why we're tackling this Therizinosaurus. Got a few other figures that have been piling up. Hopefully my voice holds up and I can crank these reviews out this week. So yeah, PNSO lately, they've been on quite the roll. I've noticed a huge uptick in quality since the beginning of the year with their releases. We all know years ago when they showed their prototype figures, the paint quality never matched up to the in-hand product. But lately, all their releases look exactly like the picture on the box, and that is a huge win for us collectors. We know exactly what we're getting now when we open up that box. Now, I ended up picking up this Therizinosaurus from PNSO's Amazon store. It retails for $43. You can also order it from their AliExpress store. I'll leave a link to both those down below in the description. Now, let's just go over the package really quick before we take a closer look at Qingge. You got Qingge front and center on the back of the front of the box, not the back. PNSO Prehistoric Animal Models line. It is number 65 in the lineup. They have done a lot of figures over the year. We have a close-up of Qingge's head on the top of the box, and then inside you do get an informational pamphlet with some facts about Therizinosaurus. You get a lot of product shots in there. My light is absolutely causing a ton of glare. It would have been nice to get an actual skeleton in here. You get some nice picture of some artwork, as my camera just absolutely hates focusing on that. I would have absolutely loved if this color scheme was used on the actual product, just like the bright, vibrant, Corsair colors that they gave it. And then, just like every other PNSO release, another thing they dial back on besides release schedule is giving us a ton of useless posters we've been getting lately. One in the box. We'll see if that changes when they do another Dinosaur Museum release. But yeah, it's that same artwork I just showed off. We have a nice background on it. Very beautifully done. I just love some of the artwork that comes with their figures. So enough about the package, and let's throw this Therizinosaurus up on the turntable and take a closer look. And here is the Therizinosaurus in all its glory. PNSO absolutely knocked this figure out of the park. There's been a few decent Therizinosaurus figures out on the market, but this one right here is the definitive version we've been waiting for our collections, and they just absolutely killed it. Therizinosaurus have become quite popular this year with its appearance in Prehistoric Planet and in Jurassic World Dominion, and I think PNSO just absolutely killed this thing. They nailed everything that makes Therizinosaurus weird and unique, from the huge claws on its hands to the upright stance to the big pot belly and the small head on top of that long neck. This thing is just absolutely fantastic from top to bottom. The color scheme, like I said, is pretty much spot on to the image on the packaging, so you really can't ask for more with that. And it's just the Therizinosaurus figure I've always wanted for my collection. I don't see this one being replaced from any other company in the near future. Now for some quick measurements. This figure, if you measure along the curve of the neck and tail, is 9 inches long, or 22.8 centimeters. And about 5 3/4 inches tall, or 14.6 centimeters. So Therizinosaurus in real life was between 30 and 33 feet long, or 9 to 10 meters. Put this figure somewhere in the 140 to the 144 scale range. And just like most bipedal figures you get from PNSO, you do get this included display rod. It slides right underneath the chest so it can rest up against it. I do recommend using these display rods. I know this figure is standing well on its own, but I haven't had a PNSO figure yet that hasn't warped over time without the rods. So if you don't want your figure falling off the shelf and damage itself, definitely use those little rods that they come with. And now let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with the head. It has a very small head perched on top of a long neck. Now, there's no skull material of Therizinosaurus known, so PNSO said on their Facebook page that the skull was based off a related species, or Lycosaurus. So that is what the head is based off of. The mouth is articulated. You can see the beak is toothless, and inside the mouth you do have some teeth sculpted in the back over there. Nice detail on the tongue. And let's take a look at the inside of the top of the upper jaw. You got some nice nasal passages sculpted in there. Man, my hands are shaking like crazy today. Too much coffee, Greg. Too much coffee. Settle down there. So yeah, the articulation on the jaw works really, really well. Has a very small eye, as it should. You can see the nostril sculpted right here at the edge of the beak. Very muted colors on here. You can see just a little bit of pink mixed in with all those grays, browns, and black. Like I said earlier, I really wish I had the more vibrant Corsairi colors on that artwork. I think it really would have made this figure stand out. The eye is painted orange with a black pupil. Here is a view of it from the front, and then going down to the neck. It has very, very short, those filaments of feathers going down. They said, it's a large animal. Most of the heat would have been dissipated through the neck of it, so didn't want to have a very heavy layer of feathers on there to disrupt that thermal regulation. And then going down to those arms, this is the most popular part of Therizinosaurus, those long, very long sickle-shaped claws, very nicely done. They have a soft, flexible material, so you don't have to worry about these breaking, but they are very pointy and sharp, far cry from what Safari does with their figures. I mean, they are meant for kids, so if Safari made one of these, it would be very, very dull, but nicely done. And just to show you how big those claws are, let's zoom out 1 second. I actually do have a life-size cast of a Therizinosaurus hand claw. This thing is probably close to about 2 feet long. It would probably been over 3 feet long with the keratin sheath that would have covered it. So this gives you a good idea of how big those claws were. And getting back to the arms, you notice there are no primary feathers sculpted on the arms. PNSO used inspiration from another related species. I'm probably going to murder it here. Prehistoric. There were no primary feathers found on that fossil. Just a lot of downy feathering, which is replicated all over this figure. And then going to the belly, you got the big, wide pot belly that this animal had. It's hard to believe that these are theropod dinosaurs. It's such a weird looking animal. On the other side right here, you can see a little bit of skin sculpted in. You got all nice folds and wrinkles and some very, very light scale detail going down to the legs. Very short, powerful legs. The toes, all 4 toes touch the ground. They all support the animal's weight. On other theropod dinosaurs, that 4th toe would have been reduced to a dew claw. And then going down to the back of the animal, you can see more of that gray, brown, and orange coloration. Very natural coloration. Nice transition of colors. Here's a view from the top with that very, very wide torso. And then going down to the tail, you have a little bit more bright coloration with that rusty orange color. And then you have some more downy feathers hanging off on this nice plumage at the end of the tail. And here's the underside of the tail is featherless. Got some nice details with the scales. And right here, here's our little Therizinosaurus poop hole. So yeah, all around an absolutely great figure. PNSO knocked this thing out of the park. Moving on to comparisons, here is Collecte's 1/40 scale human figure. So scales really well with this Therizinosaurus. Shows you how tall and big this animal was in real life. Now let's do some other Therizinosaur figures from other companies. Here is Collecte's, and let's just zoom out just a little bit. I like Collecte's when it came out. It was definitely one of the better Therizinosaur figures out there. But yeah, it's a really wild and wacky looking figure. And let's do, here is Papo's take on it. And this was my go-to Therizinosaurus figure in my collection. I still think it's a great figure. Yeah, Papo has really, really fallen from grace lately, but always did enjoy this figure, and I still like it. It still has like really weird proportions, short legs, huge pot belly, which the biggest complaint on this one was the hand claws weren't as long as they should be, but still a really, really neat looking figure. And let's do one more. Here is Mattel's Dominion Therizinosaurus, and yeah, still like this figure too. Definitely one of the best figures from the Dominion line, and the Therizinosaurus from the movie is probably my only favorite part of the whole entire movie. And here it is with PNSO's previous release, the amazing Dino-Kairos. Yeah, they've given us 2 definitive versions of these 2 weird animals. These 2 will definitely be making it on my top 10 dinosaur figures of 2022 video a little bit later on next month. And PNSO has also been on a roll of producing a lot of Asian species of dinosaurs right in a row, and I am okay with that because we got this Ling Wu Long, and then we got, don't fall over, Mr. Therizinosaurus. My studio has like a dip right here from just years of doing reviews, so some figures do not stand that well. Here is their Asian Spinosaur. Here we go. Catastrophic system failure. There's Sinopliosaurus, and what else do we got over here? We got their amazing Centausaurus, and I always recommend this figure. I think it's one of the best Hadrosaur figures on the market, but the price that they gave this thing was absolutely ridiculous, of $60. That Ling Wu Long that I had out has like 4 times the size of this figure, only cost $6 more. So I want to know what in the world PNSO was smoking when they came up with the price for this figure. And next up, here it is with their Tarbosaurus. Therizinosaurus and Tarbo did exist in the same ecosystem. You can see how Therizinosaurus towered over Tarbosaurus, which was the apex predator of that time. Let's just do a couple more quick comparisons. Here it is with a Ceratopsian. They're amazing. Torosaurus, another figure I really enjoyed from them this year. Here it is with their Wilson T-Rex. And lastly, let's do a non-PNSO figure. Here it is with Rebor's Kiss. So, final thoughts on PNSO's take on Therizinosaurus. This figure is absolutely amazing. It's pretty much perfect in my eyes. I have no complaints other than one. I just wish the colors were just a little bit more vibrant like the artwork, but that's just a teeny tiny complaint on it. Absolutely brilliant figure from them. Therizinosaurus is a very popular dinosaur. Quite a few companies have given their shot at it, but this one right here is the definitive version in my eyes. It's going to take a very long time for someone to top this figure. So yeah, PNSO, you've been on an absolute roll this year. Ever since the beginning of the year, pretty much every figure they've released have been absolute bangers, and this Therizinosaurus is no exception. Now, like I said at the beginning of the review, I ended up getting this from Amazon. Link is down below in the description. I'll also throw in the link to PNSO's AliExpress store. Take your pick where you want to order it from. So that will do it for the review. I'm going to keep plugging away doing them as long as my voice holds up, because it's been absolute crap since I had this friggin' COVID. Got a lot of Jurassic World stuff piling up, so I'll probably be the majority of the reviews for the next couple weeks at least. And I wonder what else PNSO has in store for us. They've been kind of quiet since this figure has released, so I wonder what surprise they may have for us. Maybe we'll see something get revealed this Friday. Usually they do reveals on Fridays. So that will do it. As always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.